The following podcast is an Enticing Media production.
Where the Nell have you been? Join us for conversation about life, business, and everything in between. Welcome to What the Nell, where we've got stories to tell. Here's your host, Nell Tice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast, the Ecopreneur's Edge edition. My co-host, my wonderful co-host, MIKEE Vance, is joining me today, along with our guest, Daniel Johnson. MIKEE, please introduce our guest to the world for us.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Nell. Thanks for having me. I always love being here. And for those who don't know me, I'm MIKEE with two E's. The two E's in my name stand for the environment and everyone, the two things that I care about most. And the environment is always number one in that. And that leads me right into introducing our guest, who I met on Clubhouse way back in the day. When this airs, it might not have even been a thing. But way back in the day, we had this beautiful app called Clubhouse, and we were creating rooms and curating topics about environmental sustainability. And Daniel just happened to be one of our guests in a room who ended up being, a moderator or panelist in our Green Beauty Chat rooms. And so we were talking about, ways to make the beauty community and the beauty industry more sustainable, and that led him to the reason we invited him on the Ecopreneur's Edge. He founded an organization called the Green Beauty Community. So without further ado, hi Daniel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi. First, thank you both for having me. I appreciate you lending your platform to me. Am I supposed to introduce myself? I think that was a really good introduction. And I'm always kind of like, I'm always a little nervous when it comes to talking about myself. But me and MIKEE met back during the pandemic, and it was an interesting time. We were all locked in our homes, and we were on Clubhouse learning about the world through your phone. I was invited to his room. The Clubhouse, what was it called? The Green Beauty House?
I think it was the Clean Beauty House.
Clean Beauty House. And so we were talking about sustainability in the beauty industry, and I really wanted to practice speaking because I had never talked about this subject like in public, or I guess you can call that public, even though I was in my bedroom.
What a weird time, right?
Yeah. But so I came in and I spoke a couple times, and I was invited to be a panelist there, and I decided to come weekly, and me and MIKEE forged a friendship, and it's probably 4 years now. It's almost.
Wow.
And we have, I've always have been in awe of everything that he's done in his businesses in order to maintain a sustainable focus. From his salon and then his dance studio and every other endeavor I've ever heard him talk about is always been focused on sustainability. So we just kind of bonded, and when I decided that I wanted to build what is the Green Beauty Community, he was one of the first people I thought of. I'm like, hey, man, I have an idea. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't have any money, and I don't even know what it's going to look like. But if you have some time, which I'm sure you don't, why don't you come along with this journey, on this journey with me? So, that's how we got started. And, I guess I should tell you what the Green Beauty Community is. It's basically just a clubhouse for beauty industry professionals that care about sustainability and want to champion the cause. We built a website that has not only educational content through articles and videos, and we created podcasts and webinars highlighting sustainability in the beauty industry, giving individual stylists and salons that wouldn't normally get any type of recognition for doing the daily work of recycling and washing out their bottles and recycling their color and reducing their water consumption, giving them an opportunity to shine, basically. We also have a forum where you can come in and you can interact with community members, talk about your particular problems, hopefully find solutions from other people in the space who have had experience, and just basically build a space where we can all exist together, where we can rely on each other and, in its truest sense, try to build a community out of sustainable beauty advocates.
I love
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
It's been a long time coming and a lot of work to make everything that's happened so far happen. And we have so many more plans coming. I know that we're gearing up for Earth Month in April. So we
Yes.
have some super exciting things to debut over the next couple of months. And the Green Beauty community is an official nonprofit organization. It's a 501c.
Oh, nice.
So we have done our due diligence in creating a community, of the people, by the people, for the people, but something that can actually extend long term into the future. Now, Daniel, I would love to talk about a little bit of your backstory and how maybe somebody who wasn't super familiar with the beauty industry could care about why what the work we're doing is important. How did you get started? What made you, care as much as you do?
Well, I don't really know where to start, but I guess I'll start at sort of the beginning. Um, my father, after he retired from the Navy, was a hairstylist and a salon owner as well as a barber. And I grew up as a hair kid. I swept hair, I dusted product shelves, I did I put neutralizers in perms, folded towels, cleaned bathroom, all of the things that hair kids who grew up with parents in the industry do. And one of the things that we used to do is repair our own equipment, like if a chair or broke down, or maybe the vacuum breaker on a sink, or a hair dryer, the heating element. My dad really just out of necessity, and I guess probably Navy experience, uh, he would just dive in and fix it himself. And so when my dad retired from doing hair in like 1996. Yeah, I think he did hair for about 30 years up until that point. 20 years, sorry, up until that point. He wanted to stay in the beauty space, but he didn't want to do hair. So he asked me, and it was my freshman year of college. He was like, "Hey, do you want to start a business where we repair salon equipment with other salons in the San Diego area?" And I thought it was a great opportunity to work for my dad. I would get paid, and didn't have to go find a job. I took him up on his offer, and so we started affordable salon equipment repair, and that's kind of how we were in that
Wow.
space. And what's funny about it is back then, people made fun of us. They called us Sanford and Son, because we were just running around fixing old equipment and kind of taking it in and giving it a second life. And this is before the term upcycling ever became popular, before recycling was really a big thing, before reuse was a big thing. I think we were probably at the height of the consumption era at that point, so everything was starting to be made with planned obsolescence, and they just wanted you to go through product after product after product. And so we were kind of doing our own thing in that space. Fast forward, and now, looking back, I can definitely say that my dad was you know, very inspiring with his vision of wanting to make sure that this equipment didn't go in the trash and that it had a longer lifespan, and that there was a service that was there to repair it. Um, so I guess in 2016, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there, I keep forgetting. I moved away from San Diego after college, but I came back, and he said, "Hey, well, um, you know, even though you went out into the world and did your thing, please come back and let's just, I think you should consider starting a business again." And I had been working for AT&T Interactive at that time, and I was pretty comfortable, but he kind of wouldn't let it go, and I was like, "Okay, I'll come back." And so I came back to San Diego, and I told him, "Give me a year to get established, and then I'll look into starting a business again." And then in that year, I bought a free candy van, and a bag of tools. And me and my dad hopped in the truck and we started over again. And we went door to door and said, hey, we're bringing the business back. Do you have any equipment that needs to be repaired? What do you have?
Yeah.
And we kind of started from there, this time under the name The Salon Chair Guys. And so we worked together closely, and unfortunately he passed in 2018, but he was able to kind of give me this foundation that propelled me to this point. In that time span, I created a product named the Salon Chair Cleaner, the Salon Chair Guys Salon Chair Cleaner. It's a biodegradable salon furniture product. What we found was our customers would, after we repair their chair, they're like, what do we clean it with? And there was no options that didn't have any like ammonias or alcohols or bleach formulations. And not only is that harsh to fabric or even a PVC fabric, but it's a VOC. It's a volatile organic compound. So it's something that lingers in your salon. And so a salon is already exposed to other VOCs, whether it's through neutralizers or bleaches or chemical shampoos. And so my thought was create a product, no odor, biodegradable, and it would work in kind of with the ethos of us repairing equipment. And from there, didn't know how to do any of this. So YouTube University'd my way to getting past, trying to sell a product for the first time. And then I got into sustainability, and I found myself in a weird place. And this was around the same time that I met MIKEE, that I was way more interested in creating content about sustainability than I was about selling a product, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so there was this, there is this group in the beauty industry named the Hair Nerds. And I met them in person, and I really looked up to them, and I liked the fact that they were creating this really interesting content in the hair space, in the beauty space. And I was like, I should do this for like maybe the barber space at first, and then that expanded into the sustainability space. And then I started learning more about clean beauty and the intersection of like recycling products and the operational side of sustainability, and then the clean beauty, green beauty side, where people were worried about the toxins that they were exposed to. And so I felt like there was a nexus there. And so then went down a rabbit hole and created the community, and me and MIKEE have been rocking ever since, and that's kind of where I am right now.
That's amazing.
Sorry, that was a long story.
First of all, I just want to point out that I love the fact that, you hear the stories all the time about, father, son, working maybe side by side in a mechanic shop or, something of that nature. And I love that you and your father started a business in the salon industry. I think that's commendable. I love hearing that. I just think that's really cool. I'm sure that you've probably come across quite a few challenges on the journey to that creating the beauty community. What were some of those challenges that you came across?
Number one, the first challenge was I thought that if you create it, they will come. And that is true. But the they isn't defined. So the community members came, and they wanted to know more, and we've been growing an audience larger and larger month after month. But the brands and the industry, manufacturers, distributors, I thought that they would champion the fact that we created a space that they could lean into. And what I found was they were a little bit less excited because it was taking away some of their marketing efforts that might not have been that genuine. So if we're in the space talking about sustainability, and we're talking about clean products and efficacy of green products, and so that takes away their ability to use that as a marketing tool. And I was disappointed to find that a lot of the companies, or some of the companies, a couple that I looked up to, didn't really see it through my lens. And so I thought that they would be happy that that we put this work in and created this, and that wasn't necessarily the case. And so
It's disheartening.
Yeah, it's disheartening a little bit, but you know, it's the nature of what we're confronting. Sustainability and everything that goes along with it cannot be only controlled by a brand perspective because the brand that's in glass is going to tell you glass is better, and the brand that's in aluminum is going to tell you aluminum's better. And then the brand that's in plastic or PCR plastic, if they're trying to do better, they're going to tell you that PCR plastic is better. And they all have their strengths, you know, like glass is infinitely recyclable, but at the
Hmm.
same time, shipping it from China to Italy to the United States has a large carbon footprint.
Sure.
Aluminum bottles are aluminum infinitely recyclable, I think, as well. But then the aluminum bottles have a plastic inner lining that protects the aluminum from the product, and that inner lining makes them hard for recyclable or reclamation companies, MRFs, to use the material.
Hmm.
So it sounds good, but the problem you're solving is you're still creating an additional problem. And of course, plastic PCR, like we've created so much plastic as it is. We need to reuse some of this plastic instead of creating virgin plastic. But you know, they have their point of view as well, and so it's examples like that that kind of like highlight that we need to have a nuanced approach to the subject. This is not a perfect problem. There's never going to be a perfect solution, and anyone acting like they have the solution or their product is better is just kind of using the subject um, disingenuously. We need to have spaces to have good conversations about it, really in-depth conversations. We're not trying to persuade you on your choice should be. We're talking about beauty. Beauty is very subjective and is very personal. And so there's no way I could tell you what's the right thing to do for you in that space. But if I could do my best to give you what I learned, then you make your own decision. And I think we can live with that. But we need more people being educated from a genuine point of view instead of letting brands control the narrative.
That's the Mikey drop moment right there. Mikey, would you agree?
Absolutely. I knew we were going to get one from Daniel.
You know, I mean, this is all stuff that Mikey, like we've curated these conversations over the last 4 years. Like we've been having them over and over again. And we were having them in the dark in Clubhouse, you know, like very few people were coming in, but we still kept doing it week after week. And then, you know, Mikey's been having those conversations here and on our webinar. And I mean, we've gone all over, you know, talking the same talk, but this is what we're living right now. And I think being in the space means you need to make a decision to speak up about it. We're in a climate right now where a lot of us are feeling attacked, whether you're in the climate space, the LGBTQIA space, diversity and inclusion space, and so we have to talk our talk. And so we've been practicing. It's time to get out.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's kind of
beautiful.
my
I love
words.
that.
And just like a few asides, like Daniel and I were always aligned, for the things that he just mentioned that are going a little crazy with the current, geopolitical, socioeconomic climate.
Hmm.
But I am Mikey with two E's, and the first E is always going to be the environment. Because if we don't have an environment, like I've said before, and I'll say it over and over, we have nothing left to talk about, we have nothing left to discuss, and we can certainly not argue about anything either, as much as that brings everyone joy. Um, but so I'm so happy to be, part of this podcast, part of the Green Beauty community. I want to get to where we can find you, Daniel, but just while uh, I was listening and taking it all in, as a new listener myself, I was thinking that when I opened my salon, I actually saw a tattoo shop that was going out of business, and they were using barber chairs, and I bought those, hairstyling chairs for my first location in my first salon in 2013. I then, tried to keep them out of the landfill, of course, but they were also affordable for a 25-year-old brand new business owner who knew nothing about the world. Um, so as I was growing my business, those chairs moved into my current location, which I've been there 9 years. And just this past August, I invested in new salon chairs. So that was 12 years, I
Wow.
believe, that I got use out of those reclaimed chairs. And there was a point when I was like, man, my chairs are starting to show wear and tear. And I had already met Daniel, and Daniel was like, try to fix it, try to do this. So I started with 3 chairs. I kind of like Frankensteined my chairs apart. So I now only have 2 of those initial 3 chairs. I've taken pieces of the one chair to put on the other 2 chairs. One is still in my salon as it won't sit up the whole way, so that's where I do like my eyebrows and brow tints and laminations and stuff like that. And then the other one is right here
Nice.
behind me because I can't put it in the landfill. So it's
Yeah.
just crazy to see, Daniel. Sometimes I forget how much I've been inspired by you in my eco-friendly, sustainability journey.
Oh, well,
So
thank you for that.
it just, I don't know, it hit me there, and I figured that was a shareable, teachable moment.
Also, you
So
should see my garage. I have so many salon chair parts and hair dryer parts and shampoo bowl parts and shampoo bowls. And every, I'd say every other month, I walk past and I'm like, I need to do something with this stuff.
Oh my gosh. Daniel, if I can ask you one question, what is the best, most recommended hair dryer that you can recommend for anybody that's concerned about sustainability?
Ooh, yeah, I would not know.
how
I
about
mean,
the
like a
sun?
personal hair dryer, I have no clue. A professional hair dryer for a salon, the company that I would normally recommend, unfortunately went out of business, which would be Belvedere. They made some really good equipment, and that
Wow.
equipment you could buy and it would last 30, 40 years. You'd be able to sell it with your salon, but a lot of the equipment now is made with planned obsolescence, and so that's no longer the case.
Yeah.
And also, honestly, it's been a while since I've looked at equipment in that
Sure.
aspect, so I just don't know.
Well, I'm
But
also asking this question among, two men here that
no hair.
don't have hair, so this might be on me.
Wait, so I didn't. I've hadn't had hair or been shaving my hair bald since probably I was 18. I remember my freshman year of college. One of my best friends in high school, we decided that we were going to go to college together and be roommates. And we had always had a good time together. Everything we do would go out, hang out, drink, everything. So I just thought we were perfectly compatible to be roommates. Within 2 weeks, I had to leave the dorm room because I could not, I just didn't get it. Every morning, he would wake me up to blow drying his hair. And I was like, you have to do that every day? Every day? And it was just every morning before class, just, yeah. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was just like, what is this? He just made me think about him. He's a really good guy too. He became a lawyer. He does a lot of public work. But yeah, he just made me think about
Well,
that.
if he still needs a hair dryer, I have been waiting for my Dyson, the first iteration of the
Oh
Dyson
yeah.
Pro. I have been waiting for it to die because there's a second iteration, and like obviously I want to keep it out of the landfill, and I'm so proud and honored. But I got it in October of 2019 as like a gift to myself right after my birthday, and it is now 2025, and like I've never had a salon grade professional blow dryer last more than like 2.5 years. And I was using shout out to Chi. They have really upped the game when it came to hot tools and their sustainability ethos and around education and environment. But the Dyson has doubled the amount of
Wow.
time. So I would definitely
Nice.
recommend the Dyson. And one day, hopefully a long time in the future, I'll be able to get whatever version they're on after that because mine will not quit.
It's like the Honda of hair tools. It just
Two-
won't die.
200,000 hours and still going.
Woo! That is good to know. Dyson, check that off the list.
Yeah, I look up the Dyson products. I was impressed by that blateless fan they first came out with, and then their
Oh, yeah.
vacuum. So I think they have a good track record, and I've seen them in the industry making moves lately. I think even I saw a Dyson serum. I went to an event, and on the table was a serum that they're creating. I'm like, oh, Dyson is making like product
They're
now.
what? What?
Yeah, they're making a push, and I think they have a really good reputation. So I'll second that.
Wow. All right. Well, anybody out there in the general public,
Dyson,
maybe
call
this
us.
is you're hearing it here first. Yes, call us, Dyson, please.
Yeah, hashtag not sponsored.
But could be.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Daniel, for your time. I appreciate all the stories. I appreciate the nostalgic walk down memory lane of our journey together. And I'm so excited to be a part of the Green Beauty community and to be a part of the journey in the future. So tell us a little bit about where we can find you if we need to reach out and connect after the podcast.
You can find us at greenbeautycommunity.com, Green Beauty Community Foundation on Instagram. I think that's the same for every other platform except for X, and we'll never be on X. Yeah, that's probably it. I do want to plug this. This April, we are introducing our campaign for impact named the Green Pledge. And what we're going to do is try to inspire the entire beauty industry to take a pledge to be more sustainable. And you'll be hearing about this not only through our channels, but through our partner channels as well. And hopefully we can amplify this message where it can really be impactful. And year after year, we can make every April a Green Pledge April and bring in more and more sustainable beauty advocates into the community or just into the space in general, and be able to educate our industry on how to do better in this space. So I just want to say, if this is, when you see this, it should be April or almost April. Keep your eye out for the Green Pledge.
Awesome. Love all of that. And of course, all of that information will be in the show notes. So look out for that and follow all of the links. And Daniel, thank you for joining us today. It has truly been a pleasure. And I hope that people will take notice and follow along and even consider their own sustainability practices outside of the salon after hearing this message. So, MIKEE, thank you, of course, as well. And thank you to all of our listeners and viewers. If you are on YouTube watching this, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with anybody that you think might get some value out of it. And if you're listening on your favorite audio platform, don't forget to like us, the episode, and subscribe and leave us a review. That is how we grow here at the What the Nell podcast and the Ecopreneur's Edge edition. So thank you all so much. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.
To learn more about how to tell your story, connect with Nell at enTICEingmedia.com. That's ENTICEING media.com. Thanks for listening to the What the Nell podcast.